Pure of heart and soul, warriors fall, birth anew, gasping for new life. Man, I should write haikus in case this YouTube thing does not work out. Ghost of Tsushima is one of those games that stayed with me long after I first played it back in 2020. At launch, it felt like the samurai experience I had always wanted, a blend of stunning visuals, thoughtful combat, and a story rooted in honor and survival. Now, years later, with the director's cut and the Iki Island expansion, I found myself drawn back into its world to see how my perspective had changed. With Yote coming out soon, it felt like the perfect time to revisit this samurai epic. I'm Mateo Vert, your favorite backlog gamer, and today we're heading back to Tsushima. So when Ghost of Tsushima first released, I was expecting a simple action adventure. Yeah. Yeah, this game isn't that. The opening sequence alone sets the tone. The Mongol invasion, the desperate stand of the samurai, and Jin's struggle to survive. It wasn't just a game about fighting enemies, it was about honor, survival, and sacrifice. Of course, looking back, there were some things I didn't notice at the time, like how the side quests could feel a little repetitive or how it leaned into that Ubisoft-style open-world design. But in the moment, none of that mattered. It felt like I was living inside of a samurai movie. Chat, I'm telling you, this game is just beautiful. One of the best parts of the game was mastering the combat, switching stances, challenging enemies to duels, or sneaking through the villages as the Ghost. It gave me so much freedom, and the way the game tied Jin's honor to his fighting style made every decision feel weighty. Armor sets also played a huge role in shaping how I approached fights. The Ghost armor encouraged stealth and fear tactics, letting me melt into the shadows. The Kensei armor transformed combat into a tactical dance. I was rewarded for weakening foes with ghost weapons before striking decisively. Tadayori's armor shifted my focus to archery, turning Jin into a deadly marksman, and reminded me how OP ranged combat was in this game. Even the Traveler's attire shaped how I explored, encouraging me to hunt down collectibles and immerse myself in Tsushima's history, while also keeping track of my progress across the island. Each choice wasn't just cosmetic, it changed how I played, turning every encounter into a reflection of Jin's evolving identity. Exploring Tsushima was its own reward. The guided wind, the fox shrines, bamboo strikes, haiku spots, every distraction felt purposeful. This wasn't just a checklist, it was an invitation to slow down and take in the world. The island felt alive with details, wildlife guiding you towards secrets, farmers rebuilding burned villages, and monks praying at shrines. Even the smallest diversions like composing a haiku or petting a fox gave moments of peace and contrast to the chaos of war. The landscape itself became its own character. Golden forests, snowy peaks, and windswept coastlines, each reflecting different moods of Jin's journey, which made for some amazing photo ops. Before diving into the themes, it's worth recapping the setup. Ghost of Tsushima begins with the Mongol Empire launching a brutal invasion of Tsushima Island in 1274. The samurai, led by Lord Shimura, ride in the battle but are overwhelmed. Jin Sakai, left for dead, survives and becomes one of the last hopes for the island. Faced with impossible odds, he must choose between upholding the honor-bound traditions of the samurai or embracing the unconventional tactics that will make him the Ghost. At the heart of the story is Jin's transformation, not just from samurai to ghost, but from nephew to orphan, from warrior to symbol. His conflict with Lord Shimura wasn't just political, it was deeply personal. And the supporting cast like Yuna and Ryuzu reflected the consequences of war in their own ways. Yuna represents resilience and the willingness to abandon old codes in order to protect family, while Ryuzu embodies betrayal born from desperation and hunger. Together, their stories highlight the many faces of survival in a land torn apart by invasion. Lady Masako brings a tragic perspective as her entire clan is wiped out, driving her into a relentless quest for justice that blurs into vengeance. Sensei Ishikawa, meanwhile, embodies the disillusionment of an aging warrior whose legacy is threatened by betrayal from within his own teachings. Both characters expand the theme of loss and legacy, showing that Tsushima's scars are not only physical, they're deeply personal. Then comes Iki Island. Unlike the main game's grand war story, Iki's is more personal, more psychological. The eagle's hallucinatory visions force Jin to relive his father's death and confront his own guilt. In doing so, he comes face to face with his father's killer, and the memories force him to realize that he had over-idolized his father for years. The man he thought of as flawless was still human, still capable of making mistakes, and that truth reshapes Jin's understanding of himself. The island itself feels different too. Rougher, wilder, almost like a mirror of Jin's inner turmoil, and mechanically it adds just enough, the horse charge, new enemy types, to keep combat fresh without overwhelming the core design. The best part of the DLC might just be dripping out my horse with new gear. I mean, did you really stop the invasion of a foreign force if you didn't look good while doing so? Playing the director's cut on PS5, I noticed the polish right away. Smoother performance, Japanese lip sync, DualSense feedback. It feels like Ghost of Tsushima was always meant for this hardware. Kurosawa mode also deserves mention here. The black and white filter, film grade, and dramatic audio design make it feel like you're playing inside a classic samurai movie, adding a layer of style and immersion unique to this game. With Iki Island woven into the main game, the pacing feels more balanced. It doesn't feel like an afterthought, it feels like the missing piece of Jin's journey. Revisiting Ghost of Tsushima years later, I noticed details I missed before. The way the game rewards patience, the music swelling at the perfect moment, and Jin's choices hitting differently now that I know how his journey ends. The first time I played Ghost of Tsushima, it was an epic samurai adventure. The second time, it felt like a meditation on loss, legacy, and identity. Ghost of Tsushima to this day is still one of the most beautiful and meaningful games I've played. Iki Island gave Jin more depth, but it also gave me closure, not just for his story, but for my own journey with this game. Yote will be releasing soon, and I'll be there day one. I also didn't forget Legends, that's going to be its own video. If you enjoyed this retrospective, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Next week, I'll be parkouring through Dying Light, so be sure to stick around for that adventure. Join the Discord or check out the community tab for updates and polls. And if you're looking to be a part of a growing community, come hang out on Twitch where we trophy hunt live. Until next time, I'm JPtheHRMT, your favorite backlog gamer, and you guys stay safe.